Bro, another episode and a great episode because you know what we've got today. Today we have got a killer question, but a killer question that not just everyone talks about. I think everybody
Mm,
hypes up the Jedi a little bit too much. No one really talks about their downfall. Let's talk
mm.
today about the failures of the Jedi.
The fall of the
Man,
Jedi.
man,
I want to
let's
get into
do
the
it.
nitty gritty. I want to get into it real
Oh.
deep.
Dude, I look like a fly. Let's do this. I'm about to vomit
Oh
some
no, put your
information.
liquid all over me.
That's exciting. Yeah, dude. I mean, I feel like honestly, just kind of like a little bit of a brief before people kind of like get ramped up and ready to argue in
Mm.
the comments section. Which, by the way, hi Star Wars Nerd 00, you're in
Oh,
for a
hello,
good one.
you little
Keen to hear your opinion on
sexy
this one.
beast.
Yeah, honestly, dude, I think so much of the time when it comes to Star Wars, we think
Mm,
of just the inherent good and bad. I mean, like, I don't think that it's really that clear. I
mm.
think that there are good and bad on both sides,
Yeah.
and I think we'd be wrong to assume that the Jedi have been good the whole time. For me
Mm.
personally, I think the Jedi towards the end were just as evil as the start of the
Ooh.
Empire.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't actually think they got anywhere worse than the Empire, obviously,
Yeah.
because there is like, oh, thumbs up, that like there is good and bad,
Mm-hmm.
but like I think there was just a little bit of gray area that we kind of have to say maybe they weren't all right all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Well, I think on my takes, I'm going straight from the man himself. I'm going straight from Mr. Lucas. I'm going straight from George. This is
That's
going
what
to
I
be good.
wanted.
This is going to be good.
That's
Well,
what and
oh,
we haven't
yeah.
talked about this, bro.
No, we
Just to
haven't.
like clear the
No, we
air.
haven't.
We haven't talked about this.
We
We
spoke what
came up with that.
Yeah, we spoke what last week, and I was about to say like a few of my things. Like, no, 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 we're gonna leave it for next
Bro,
week.
we were catching ourselves so much. We're like, no, no,
Yeah,
no, no, no.
yeah,
Share our opinion on live because, like, this is. I think it's so easy to kind of like manufacture an episode, but this is
yeah.
something that
This is
isn't
raw,
necessarily an
raw.
argument. This is like a raw conversation, something that really kind of needs to be had. I think
Yeah.
there's not a lot of people in the space who are talking about this kind of stuff. You
Mm.
know, so why would we not have the lore head, the absolute lore machine over there? No, that's you, bro. That's you, bro.
Oh,
That's you, bro. That's
oh.
you. And then just like an opinionated dickhead. There's Oh man.
Dude,
Oh,
oh, dude,
Brian's in
the
the
Tim Tams and the
house.
Milo rocked up. I cannot wait. I can't believe they got there that quick. I sent them like,
It got there that quick?
well, I sent them not Friday, just gone last Friday. Like, what's that? I'm just going up my calendar. The 29th of August.
Brian,
It's
do you
the
know
8th
how
of
to do a Tim
September.
Tam slam?
Dude, I'm gonna teach him. I don't know. I know he's had him before. I don't know if he's actually done a Tim Tam Slam yet.
You should
But if
yeah,
not, I'm gonna teach him.
you should go on a live.
Yeah,
Just like a
we're gonna,
like a
yeah.
cooking with CT Jesse. Have you seen that? Cooking with Kaya. Oh my god, that
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
I've got
Now I want to
brain
get into
rot,
this,
bro.
dude. I want to get into the nitty gritty. I want to get all up in it.
I want to get
We'll
all
split
up in you and it.
in the post show. I want to now. We've sort of split it up into 5 topics. We'll go one at a time. We'll take it nice and slow. We'll be easy.
Yep.
We'll be gentle.
Oh
But I
yeah.
want to
I'll
hear.
wear protection.
Oh yeah, good boy, good boy. I want to hear your thoughts on. We'll start at a nice little spot. The intention. What is the intentions of the Jedi? Do you think?
Look, I think I think the intention of the Jedi is good, right?
Yeah.
To not allow talent such as force ability to fall
Hmm.
into the hands of evil.
Hmm.
But I feel like if you're focusing purely on intention,
Yep.
it starts to strafe a little bit. Like
Okay.
you're becoming something that was not originally intended. If there was a way to physically measure and like
Hmm.
there is a measurable goal, it is so easy to stay on track and to stay true to your mission and who you are. But when it becomes something that is, I mean, as valuable as we need to save kids,
Mm-hmm.
you can start to justify little things along the way, little crimes, little, I mean, like how many war crimes were there in the Clone Wars where, and they just brush it to the side, just going, oh,
Yeah.
well, like this is for the overall good. It's like this
Yeah.
this blanket of good, which I
Mm-hmm.
think the intention being pure, genuinely, I don't think there was any ill intent from anyone that is a
Mm-hmm.
real Jedi. Now, when I say real Jedi, I don't mean someone like, Master Sifo Dyas, who went over to Camino and, started a clone
Yeah.
army behind the whole Jedi's back.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about like the true Jedi, the people who are there and are like willingly committing themselves to being the best version of themselves. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's the one that I'd like to focus on mainly with intention.
Yeah.
And I'd say, yeah, it's pure. But my personal take is that there wasn't a measurable goal. And I think there were some evils committed because they were putting it under the blanket of good.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair. I think when I was doing my research and all that for this, the overall theme from George were the intentions were good, but because they were so manipulated in that, they got a completely different outcome to what they were
Mm.
thinking. What's the saying, like the pathway to hell is paved with good intentions or whatever it is?
Dude, that's a fucking beautiful quote.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that one.
So
Yeah.
with my take, I went straight to the man himself. I knocked on Mr. Lucas's door. He answered, and he gave me this. Right? Yeah, yeah. So obviously, the Clone Wars was like the big shifting factor because originally their original intention was being peacekeepers, right? That's
Yes.
what they are. You hear Mace Windu say at the start of episode 2, we're peacekeepers, not soldiers. But then the Clone Wars start. So then their intention, it gets overshadowed. They have to become war generals. Like Anakin says in Ahsoka, when I was training, I was being trained as a peacekeeper, and then when he's training Ahsoka, he's training her to be a soldier.
Yeah.
The Clone Wars shifted their focus. Originally they're intended to be these warrior monks who keep the peace without resorting to violence. Violence is an absolute last resort. They only use it if it's the only means left that they can do. We see this in the beginning of the Phantom Menace, where they attempt to, like negotiate with both sides. They go to the blockade, and obviously before they try and get gassed and all that. They're diplomats of the highest level. They only use violence if it's absolutely necessary. This is the core tenets of the Jedi.
Mm.
They've got the whole force of the Republic, which is like 100,000 systems, I believe. So if you don't behave, they'll bring you up in front of the Senate. They'll cut you off at the knees politically. They're peace officers. That is from George Lucas.
Yep.
So I wanted to start with that, and then I wanted to transition into the politics, because holy shit, that's where I've got some stuff.
Yeah, dude.
So the next topic, obviously, politics. So as the situation develops in the Clone Wars, because this is where like the big manipulation is, right? This is where Palpatine really can begin to hatch his plans and begin to make some moves. And I suppose the other advantage of the Clone Wars to Palpatine is he was able to sway public opinion against the Jedi as well.
Yeah.
Because, they no longer see him as peacekeepers. The public see him as these enforcers. And because they're so caught up in the war, they abandon these other systems that need help. Because you see it, so how many times do you see it in the Clone Wars series where they're like, where have the Jedi? Where have the Jedi been? Why don't they help us? So they're recruited into the army and they become generals. But that's not who they are. They're not generals. They don't kill people. They don't fight. They're supposed to be ambassadors. There are a lot of Jedi that think the Jedi sold out. Dooku being a pretty popular choice amongst those. They should never have been an army. So then they're faced with this choice, basically. Are they going to stick by their moral rules and just be wiped out and killed? Or, which, just makes them irrelevant then. It's like, what's the point? Or do they help save the Republic? And so, in George's words, they have good intentions, but they've been manipulated, which was their downfall. So, yeah, they're basically left with, do we, be wiped out, or do we join in and fight for people's freedoms? So they basically choose the lesser of two evils and fight for people.
And it's so funny though, because they pick people. That's what I mean by like when I'm talking about the intention before, and maybe this can kind of like transition. Do you have any more you want to say about politics?
No, you say your bit, because I've got, because then I want to go straight to Palps. I'm going straight to Daddy Palps.
Perfect. So I think I think for me personally, like when it
Yeah.
comes to them like picking the lesser of two evils,
Yeah.
I really don't think they understand what that lesser is.
Yep.
Like when they go out, they're not actually funding the government. Like if you're thinking about what was that planet with Saw Gerrera the first time we saw him on the Clone Wars.
Oh,
You know what
good
I'm talking.
lord. Yeah, I know what
I
you're
know,
talking
I
about.
know.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. Like that
Yeah.
mission there, they weren't funding the government.
Mm,
They were funding the guerrilla warfare artists,
mm,
like basically the
yeah.
terrorists
Yeah.
that were trying to take down a whole regime.
Yeah.
Like it's interesting for me to look at that and to see where their kind of where their intentions lie
Yeah.
and what is really good. And I think it really just changes based on what the people can offer the Jedi. If they are being offered full support of the Jedi, and they will live under their control, under their reign, there will be a temple on their planet. They can have these people who are studying the Force, and you will give your youth to us to make sure that we can grow our
Yeah.
Force. I think that's where it gets a little muddy,
Mhm.
because you're not actually doing this for the greater good. You're doing it for the greater good of yourself.
Mhm.
And I think the choosing of the lesser of two evils kind of turns into this point of like, we're not actually choosing the lesser of two evils, we're
Yeah.
choosing what is benefiting us.
Yeah.
And kind of like, just quickly before you get into palps,
Yeah.
I think like a stance on kind of intention that would lead into politics, which I'll go into after
Yeah.
you do. But I think the Jedi really suffer at leverage.
Mhm.
That's one thing that Palpatine was able to take with every single with
Yeah.
every single order that he challenged. I
Yeah.
mean, the Grand Republic, the New Republic, the Rebellion, whatever. It was leverage.
Yeah.
Everyone always sucked at that, and I think that was just his strong point.
Yeah.
And to see them kind of like politically, I think that leverage really pushed them into a corner where they had to break down walls and work
Mhm.
around things to get to their chosen the chosen goal. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
To go into your politics, though, I want to hear your
Dude, so
Palpatine.
this all they talk about it in Skywalker Family War. I was like, this is a really cool bit, but it's all from this series of 5 comics. It's one series, 5 issues, called Obi-Wan and Anakin. So good. Focuses on it's about 3 years after the Phantom Menace. Focuses on Anakin as a 12-year-old. He's on the verge of leaving the Jedi Order.
Hmm.
And at one point, he's training in the Jedi Temple, and this is where I'm getting to. Is it just really highlights how far the Jedi have aligned themselves with the Republic, that Palpatine can just walk in there and do whatever he wants. He can walk into the temple and just literally do whatever he wants. So at one point, Anakin's training. He lashes out at a couple Padawans because they talk to him. They can hear Anakin can hear him talking about how he's still like a slave to his emotions, blah blah blah, and he just hears slave, and that triggers something. So he like holds him up with the Force and takes their lightsabers and ignites them at him. And he's like, "Tell me what you're feeling right now." And Obi-Wan's like, yells at him. He's like, "You obviously can't do that."
Hmm.
And Palpatine's up there watching Anakin with Mace Windu. And he basically tells Mace, he's like, "Look, bring him to me." He's like, "You probably don't believe it, but I was once a boy at his age," and he's like, "I feel a special connection to him because of his assistance with the with the blockade on Naboo like years ago, because obviously he blows up the blockade
Yeah.
ship." Mace assures Palpatine that he's like, he came to Obi-Wan at a difficult time, that sort of thing. Obi-Wan got put in a difficult situation, but Obi-Wan's got it under control. And then Palpatine just drops the hammer. He goes, "The Jedi are under the jurisdiction of the Senate, and I'm the chancellor of the Senate." So, and Mace is like, "Yeah, okay, he'll come see you." And so that's where it starts. That's where it starts.
Whoa.
That's where Palpatine really starts to like put his tentacles into Anakin, because what he does. So Obi-Wan brings Anakin to Palpatine. Obi-Wan's like, "Oh, I can come on this like mission with you, whatever," and he's like, "Don't be silly. Like, I can look after myself. I just want to take Anakin." So they go to the lower levels of Coruscant, and this is where Palpatine's telling Anakin, like, he's basically trying to front it as like a life lesson mission sort of thing. Like, he's just seen how the other half live, that sort of thing. Like, it's like down there they don't even see the sun, like
Hmm.
um But he takes him down there, and because the Jedi have become like so intertwined with politics, it's really, opened them up to like the hypocrisies of the Republic. And so, yeah, Palpatine's claiming to use like the lower levels of Coruscant to teach Anakin about the less fortunate inhabitants of the Republic's core world, but in truth, they're tests. And so, not only to see if Anakin's able to be manipulated, but so Anakin can see these hypocrisies, with his own two eyes. And basically, the end goal of this is, with Anakin seeing this, Palpatine's confident that one day this will lead to Anakin rejecting the Jedi Code one day. But what he sees down there, he they see senators gambling like their decisions and that in the Senate
Mm.
on chance cubes and that. And Palpatine's just planting these little things, like he's talking about slaves. He's like, "Oh no, sorry, didn't mean to mention slaves in front of you." And he can like sense Anakin starting to think about it because he's seen examples of slavery and that down these lower levels. Because they're gambling with chance cubes, Palpatine's like planting into Anakin's mind that, with the Force, you can manipulate chance cubes and that. Like, we could catch a senator doing these bad things and that. And so it's really putting these thoughts into Anakin that, like, if the ends justify the means sort of thing, maybe I can go around the Jedi Code to achieve a good result in the end. So that sort of plants that seed in Anakin's head as well. But even back to, like, just the pure politics of Palpatine, like, he knows how Anakin feels about Padme. He delivers that executive order for Anakin to go accompany Padme after the assassination attempts and Attack of the Clones. Two reasons. One, for Padme, like, just to get Padme the fuck out of there because she was going to oppose the creation of the army.
Yeah.
And two, he knows how Anakin feels about her. And so, being that close with her by himself is only going to fuel the dissatisfaction in his heart. So he's just planting
Mm.
all these little and ends up basically being the catalyst for him to make Anakin turn in episode 3.
It's so interesting that the Jedi wouldn't do that. Like,
I know.
wouldn't show all ranges of life and all walks of
Mm,
Earth. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I'm talking about not just the high class society, but
Mm.
also kind of the dregs of society.
This is why
Like,
Qui-Gon was so good, dude.
yeah, no, well, like it really, and I think that whole argument that is super, like it's super popular amongst the whole fan base is like,
Mm,
what would happen if Anakin was being led by Qui-Gon
yeah.
instead of Obi-Wan? I think honestly, I don't know if he would be any different because I
Mhm.
think Palpatine would definitely work a way around it. He's so smart and he knows
Mm,
every single little chess piece moving in any direction way
yeah.
before anyone else knows.
Yeah.
But I just, to see how valuable the Jedi can be
Yeah.
and looking at something like that and just going, it makes so much sense when they're politically trying to put themselves in a higher position than
Yeah.
everyone. Like, oh, we're not involved, but we govern you all secretly because who do you turn to when you have a
Yeah.
problem? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I think it's just as evil
Yeah.
as what Palpatine was doing.
Yeah.
But I think Palpatine was doing better for Anakin
Mm,
than anyone else. I mean, the whole reason why he was tempted to go to the dark side is because of how nice Palpatine was. I mean, he was literally like a father to him,
mm,
a father that he hadn't had since Qui-Gon.
mm,
I mean, like, I understand that maybe Qui-Gon wasn't the perfect guy. He
mm.
literally gambled a kid's life on a pod race. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, if we're talking about intention
Yeah.
before, like, sure, he's probably not the best there, but what he does do, and why a lot of people want to put him in that gray Jedi category, is
Yeah.
that he will show you all walks of life so that you can make your own decision. He's aware of all of the grievances of different people who are afflicted by different issues across
Yeah.
the galaxy, be that wealth, like food scarcity, trade blockades, whatever, right? There are so many different things that I think the Jedi are just politically, I don't think it's anything but too afraid
Yeah.
to talk about. I think if they allow that kind of chink in the armor, then what's going to happen? Is the whole
Mm,
armor piece going to fall apart? Are we going to be exposed in this bare wound
yeah.
available for everyone to kind of like infect and to bleed us out. Like
Yeah.
I think that's something I'm really keen to talk about when it
Yeah.
comes to fear later
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think tradition. I think if we're gonna talk about politics, I
Yeah.
think it's really important for the next category of tradition.
Yeah. Sorry, I just wanted
Um,
to really quickly touch on the Qui-Gon point just before we move
yeah,
on.
yeah, go,
Because no,
go.
because what you said is perfect, but like just an example of it in the Living Force book came out last year, I think.
Mm,
There's literally a bit in there with like where Qui-Gon's still teaching Obi-Wan. And Qui-Gon would take Obi-Wan and just travel on regular passenger ships for that exact reason, so he could see how other people live, so he could communicate with them and interact with them and see what their problems are and just see how they live. Would have been perfect for Anakin. Like that's literally what Palpatine did, just with bad intentions.
yeah, like it's just I think that's what the Jedi fail to see.
Yeah.
Like they fail to see that they are not some all-powerful,
Mm.
omnipotent force
Yeah.
that can control everything
Yeah.
just by the fear people have of doing wrong against them.
Yeah.
To have these people who are trying to be connected
Yeah.
with everyone in the world, so
Yeah.
much so that they become so unbelievably
Mm.
disconnected.
Yeah.
I think it's why the Sith could fester. Not only is it because they were struggling to see grassroots, but they
Yeah.
weren't in the root systems at all. They had completely removed themselves.
Yeah.
They were not anywhere near the lower level of society. They focused too much on the high level and the politics and trying to be, like the gold, the fashion, the
Yeah.
everything, right?
Yeah.
But the Sith, all they had to do was to take that whole army of people who are struggling under the reign of the Jedi,
Yeah.
and the smallest thing. I mean, like you look at how people act in today's society, right? It's
Mhm.
always it's always eat the rich, kill the rich, give their money to the poor.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then what's going to happen? The poor are going to be rich, and then the
Yeah.
poor are
Yeah.
going to want to keep control. I think that's the bad side
Yeah.
of like, I mean, if you're going to talk about that in Star Wars
Yeah. Yeah.
context,
Yeah.
right?
Well, it's full of real
That would
world things.
be
Yeah.
100%, man. And it's like that would be the bad side of it, but they can't see it because they've been struggling for so long, because they've been neglected for so long, because
Yeah.
the Jedi's political ideas are so busy on other planets and securing fucking guerrilla warfare
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
terrorist organizations
Yeah.
to overthrow government so that they can be more in control, than to worry about the people who are actually struggling, like struggling for food, struggling for air in some places. I mean, like
Yeah.
you look at the depths of Coruscant and that like murky muck and that kind of like cloud of just disgusting. Yeah, I don't know if you remember in the Kenobi series, but you see it everywhere. It's
Yeah.
kind of like a permanent dust storm that goes on down there, like the lowest levels.
Yeah.
And
On Dio or Dio?
yeah, yeah,
Dio?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, you see this kind of like disgusting way of life. Why wouldn't you, in a time of need, like just cling on to any hope that you had?
Yeah.
That hope being, the empire. Because
Yeah.
what did they promise? I mean, like it's sure it was full of empty promises.
Yeah.
But all they promised was to make sure that everyone would be taken care of, every system accounted for, every single system would have a police force, the stormtroopers that would come in and they would care for all of the people. We make sure there is a single currency, so no one's being left with, all of this terrible, calamari flung, and and getting nothing for it,
Yeah.
so like
Yeah.
the promises of so much greatness. Why
Yeah.
would you not get rid of this whole empire that doesn't,
Yeah.
well, I mean, because really it felt like the Jedi at the end were an empire.
Yeah.
Why would
Yeah.
you not get rid of them and aim to have something that is more secure? It's better. I mean, like you can see it in Australian politics of like the going from Liberal to Labor,
Yeah.
right? When the Liberals, who are the people who are kind of like, they've already got an established money centered culture, whereas the Labor is like, we want to help all of the people below,
Yeah.
that's like increasing tax, all that kind of stuff. Like I don't have
Yeah.
to get
Yeah.
into politics there, but it really very much is the same,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
it's just, yeah, it's interesting, man. And I think it's all because of their fallible tradition.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you want to talk about tradition. at all
Dude,
first?
it's I've only got a small bit because it leads into fear. The fear distrust part is gonna be like pretty massive for me.
Yeah, no, that's
But yeah,
fine.
I basically just wanted to like sort of center on the Jedi Code because the Jedi Code was so rigid. They were arrogant. They weren't flexible. And for someone like Anakin, you need to be flexible because he's had this different upbringing. He's come to you later. He's the
Yeah,
prophesized chosen one. You have to be able to adapt. And the Jedi Code, and because they were so rigid within that, they were unable to. They told him to ignore his, and because of that, it opened up these little holes for Palpatine to pierce and lay his little seeds. They told him to ignore his emotions. Palpatine told him to embrace them.
mm,
And then, like, perfect example is even at the start of episode 2, like we first time we see Anakin and Obi-Wan together again. Obi-Wan's asking Anakin, or Anakin's telling Obi-Wan, I don't sleep well anymore. Obi-Wan's, because of your mother. And then Obi-Wan just tells her, oh, dreams pass in time. He just dismisses it. Whereas this
yeah.
is something that Anakin's like clinging to. You've got Padme, Palpatine promises to save her. The Jedi tell him to let go.
It's such a difficult topic to talk about with tradition
Yeah.
because tradition can also stem from really good roots and have
Yeah,
such like
100%.
an integral part of their
Yeah.
society. But I feel like the Jedi tradition changed a lot
Yeah.
more. I think with every little bit, this is why, dude, I think fear is going to be such a big topic. But like
Mm,
to see the tradition kind of not really fall in a
yeah.
way, but I think because of fear, it changed.
Yeah.
Because of this kind of like the next topic of complacency, I think it festered into something that wasn't right.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to feel emotions.
Yeah.
What like
Yeah.
like what part of that is right at all? I
Yeah.
mean, good or bad, what you're only meant to feel good?
Yeah.
You're only meant to be happy? How is that sustainable in any sense?
Yeah.
I mean, you people have got bad days,
Yeah.
and you meant to dismiss your emotion. All that happens is it bottles up and turns into this festering kind of
Yeah.
like crap, and it'll explode into something far bigger than what it ever was.
Mm,
I think like their lack of care
mm,
for a Jedi's emotional needs,
yeah.
that disgusting tradition of fear is the enemy.
Mm,
I mean, I've done a lot of kind of like philosophical research into
yeah.
into into all this kind of stuff, and to see how they treat emotions. I mean, like, how would you not fail? How would you
Yeah.
not fall when you see someone like that who will just completely dismiss this person's emotions and their
Mm,
lifestyle? I mean, also that Anakin was too old.
yeah.
Why was he too old? Oh, because you couldn't indoctrinate him.
Yeah.
You couldn't turn him into the same kind of like super soldier
Couldn't
that
mold him from
everyone
a young
else
age.
was. Yeah. I mean, like that's what a lot of armies want to do. They
Hmm.
want you young so that you don't have too many opinions, and then they can shape who you are. You become a
Yeah.
better soldier. I
Yeah.
understand that. I mean, like that's not necessarily going to be wrong on a lot of things. I just
Yeah.
think with this one specifically, especially when they're nothing but a glorified police force,
Yeah.
you cannot just dismiss someone who is of such raw potential because they're too old. Oh, and then because they're too old, we're going to start to put more pressure on them to do certain things and to reach a
Yeah.
higher level. And like it was just the whole tradition, everything that they had, you could just see it wearing every single Jedi down. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a reason why so many of them were not at that high caliber that Anakin was and
Yeah.
Obi-Wan was, because of the difficulties that they had to go through,
Yeah.
all of the like trials and tribulations. None of them really had to deal with that because they were so sheltered. And that
Mm,
really is a problem. When you're sheltered, it comes back to what we were talking about with Qui-Gon and Palpatine about like
yeah.
not being able to see all walks of life. When you're sheltered, you're not relatable. When you're not relatable, you cannot be in charge.
Mhm.
If you are someone who is caring for society, you have to understand society on every single level. It
Yeah.
is not just one simple little, oh, well, this is good and this is bad. And hey,
Yeah.
the Empire is bad, right? The Sith is bad, right? It's that whole thing with, oh, we haven't seen the Sith for thousands of years.
Mm.
Bull.
Yeah.
You're just too afraid.
Yeah.
You're just too afraid. And now, because your tradition says to you that you're not allowed to be afraid, you'll push it aside. And you'll say, oh, it's nothing, it's nothing. And then you allow everything in the darkness to grow and build and turn into this monster that could have been easily slain if you just attended to the needs of the people and the needs of your people, the
Yeah.
Jedi. Like, it's just that's why so much of it at the end really makes me feel like Anakin and Palpatine at the start of the Empire were not actually that bad. Like,
Yeah.
it really, and I think, just quickly,
Yeah.
I think the reason why the Acolyte failed is because it didn't show that progress.
Yeah.
It didn't show that progress, like, or not really progress, I guess more like deterioration,
Yeah.
right? But it didn't show deterioration. It showed none at all. Like,
Mhm.
at what point in anything did we see all of our guys struggle?
Yeah.
There were none.
Yeah.
It was just, oh, it was the same thing for what, hundreds of years? Hundreds of years you're staying the same? No,
Yeah.
there has to, and I get what they tried to do with May and so on, and being like, oh, now we can't accept someone like that, and that's why Anakin,
I
terrible.
hated that, dude. I hated that
Dude.
so
Look,
much.
I can respect if you like it. If your Star Wars is your Star Wars, if you like it, you like it. Do your thing, enjoy it. I'm not going to be here to hate it, but you have to admit that the writing just was not up to scratch, and it didn't just deteriorate its story, it deteriorated the whole story, because
Yeah.
that progress was just they actually looked worse.
Mm.
The Jedi in that looked worse
Yeah.
than what they were, because there was this weird belief that, oh, you have to show that the good guys being bad in order for you to not like them. It's like, no, you don't. Like, the
Yeah.
Sith just are bad in general. You can build them up. I mean, like, you can show that the Jedi weren't able to deal with them because how strong they were. Sure,
Yeah.
it's fine, but, like, you can't just say that these people were just as bad, if not worse, hundreds of years before, and
Yeah.
they were able to sustain their whole lifespan up until the point of Palpatine, because Plagueis was far more cunning.
Yeah.
Plagueis was far more ruthless. He wouldn't do things 10 steps ahead of people. He would just cut your feet so you couldn't move another step.
Mm.
Like, how could the Sith not grow from that era if that's what they
Mm.
were like?
Yeah.
I mean, and I think it just shows so much of, like, when Star Wars is created by influences that influence Star Wars,
Mm.
not influenced by Star Wars itself.
Yeah.
Because the storyline just, yeah, I mean, like, this is not just acolyte. This is not just acolyte hate now.
Everyone's
I
just
just,
left.
yeah, no, legit. I think, honestly, I mean, like, that's my biggest gripe,
Yeah.
is like, you're showing all of the downfalls that happen later on
Yeah.
in a time that was so prosperous.
Yeah.
It really was.
Yeah.
And I mean, they try. The reason why I brought it up is because they try to talk about tradition. They try to
Yeah.
talk about, like, how bad it was and their intentions and
Yeah.
so on. And I just think they just completely, they just missed the nail, and they hit their thumb. Like,
Yeah.
it felt like the Acolyte hurt Disney more than it actually did well. And even from their side, I
Big
mean,
time.
like, I'm all for letting people have their stories. I want people to have their stories and to be
Yeah.
able to, like, Sean Levy, Starfighter, looks
Mm.
awesome. Looks
Gonna be
really,
cool.
really
I
cool.
hope it's gonna be cool.
Like, like how many stories have we seen that have been so successful? Anyways, not the point. Not the point. I mean, I think let's go into complacency before I just like go into like a fucking rabbit hole there.
Yeah. Like I said, fear distrust is gonna be the massive one for me. But complacency, I was like, I just want to do a nice, quick, a nice, obvious one. What's the really obvious one is Dooku, because how many times obviously he says it in Attack of the Clones? You know, what would I tell you if the Senate was under the control of a Sith Lord? But he says it so many times. He words it differently during the Clone Wars. You know, he tries to allude to this corruption in the Republic, to Obi-Wan, to Anakin. You know, whatever. But why didn't the Jedi question it? You know, Obi-Wan is wary of the fact that Dooku may be telling the truth. That probably because of the Qui-Gon link there as well. But you know, Yoda just insisted that lies and deceit were now his ways, and obviously Dooku's background didn't exactly open him up to being the most truthful of sources. But yeah, that's always been a big one. Like they just never, and because it's that's sort of the other prong as well, because the dark side now clouded everything, and Yoda was aware of that. You know, he says it. You know, the shroud of the dark side is now fallen. They just weren't able to sense anything. They were just so lost, like they'd lost their way in the Force. And that's what Mace Windu says in Episode 3. You know, we may have to tell the Senate we've lost our way with the Force, sort of thing. Just because they come so complacent, their arrogance, the dogma of the Jedi, they weren't able to do anything until evil was on their front door and stabbing them right in the face. Like,
dude, legit, it's like so crazy that they were in front of them the whole time. They were staring their greatest enemy in the face the whole time. I think the Clone Wars in general was just like the biggest act of complacency and the reason. Their greatest reason for their failure. Dude, I have to bring up the Dooku quote.
I know. I knew this was coming, and I still need it.
I have to. I just, yeah, honestly, I mean, like, I bring this up every single time.
I know you do, but it's good. You need to.
I just love it.
This is the place
because more people need to know this quote. So I just say it for that one person that misses it. The Jedi Order's problem is Yoda. No being can wield that kind of power for centuries without becoming complacent at best or corrupt at worst. He has no idea that it's overtaken him. He no longer sees all the little cumulative evils that the Republic tolerates and fosters, from slavery to endless wars. And he never asks, why are we not acting to stop this? Live alongside corruption for too long, and you no longer notice the stench. The Jedi cannot help the slaves of Tatooine, but they can help the slave masters.
It's a good one, but I know you love it,
dude. I think
good.
that it's the perfect depiction of complacency.
Yeah,
I love that. I love that so much. I think Dooku. I actually think Dooku was right the whole time. Like I'm a Dooku loyalist the whole time.
Ooh.
Dooku was able to say. I don't think the separatist part was actually right. I think he was kind of like he was separate from the separatists.
You're that guy in Mando, Christopher Lloyd.
Oh, dude, I'm Dooku. I mean, like Sir Christopher Lee. I mean, like, the goat. So but like, it was just so perfectly put. About how they cannot, under any circumstance, see what they're doing because their leader is so wrapped up in his own gratification. That they're lost. I mean, like that whole thing. The whole story feels biblical. You know, talking about Moses, like Moses leading the Jews through the desert for how many years? You know, like I think it was like hundreds of years. You know, it really feels like it's just ripped, from the Bible. Especially, you know, someone like Connor. I mean, if Connor from Beyond the Dune Sea was watching this at any point, or even Seth, I know they're very big Christians. And to please correct me on that if I'm wrong, but like with no real guidance and just a loud voice, you're not going to go anywhere but circles. you know.
Yeah.
But dude, let's get into fear. Let's get into
Okay.
fear. I want to hear.
I've
I want to hear what you
I've got
think.
points. I'll give you a couple, and then I want to
Okay.
hear you, and then I'll
Yep.
get into some bigger stuff.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
So, well, obviously, we started with fear, but when I was doing my thing, that I really wanted to get into more the distrust, because that was sort of where a lot of it was going. So I want to start with a couple quick ones. The Tusken Raider incident. We'll call it an incident. It was cool to watch.
Mm.
Anakin only told two people about that: Padme and Palpatine. He didn't tell Obi-Wan. He didn't tell the Jedi. The Jedi didn't trust him. I suppose he didn't really trust the Jedi with what they would do if they found out.
Mm.
And through telling Palpatine that, all that did was give Palpatine another opportunity.
Yeah.
The second one is obviously the Jedi Order didn't trust Anakin. You know, he's a hero of the Clone Wars. Mace Windu in particular did not trust him. Even up until, he'd been a hero of the Clone Wars for the last 3 years. He tells Mace Windu that, Palpatine's a Sith Lord. And Mace Windu still says, if what you have told me is true, you will have gained my trust. How has he not gained your trust after the last, let alone like 13 years, even the last 3 years, the Clone Wars? Dude hated him, man. Dude hated him.
Yeah. I think Mace Windu was the downfall of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah,
I
big time. He
think
gets that big time.
I don't think Yoda. I
Yep.
think because Yoda has proved to come back and understand where he went wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, look at it. Look at him in the original trilogy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like after the fall of the greatest republic,
Yeah.
he's now become a leader who, is still willing to recognize where he went wrong.
Yeah.
I don't. I think Mace Windu is just a. I think he is the worst character in Star Wars. I don't like him at all. And the most annoying thing is it's
Mm.
Samuel Jackson, like
Yeah, I
one of
know.
my
It's like
favorite actors.
it's so hard to hate him. Yeah.
I'm like, Sam, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? And I look, if he ever comes back, I hope he has a great redemption. But
Yeah.
I think when you look at everything to do with Mace Windu, God, man, oh
Mhm.
my God, every single
Yeah.
time. Why are you so fearful of this kid?
Yeah.
Like, he was a big point that I wanted to talk about. Of
Mhm.
like, why are you fearful of this kid? Why are
Yeah.
you turning everyone against him?
Yeah.
That moment that you said before was
Yeah.
like number one on my list as to why I fucking hate him and why I genuinely think the biggest failure of the Jedi was lack of trust.
Yeah.
I mean, like, gaining his trust because he proved that there was a Sith Lord?
Yeah.
What? How many things has he done in the Clone Wars? How many people has he saved? How many years has he trained under
Yeah.
one of the greatest Jedi of all time,
Yeah.
Obi-Wan Kenobi? To what, gain your trust now?
Yeah.
Or but
Yeah.
you're going to turn him into a spy
Mm.
against the person who's been the only person who's shown him love.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, that's a good idea. Oh,
Mm.
yeah, no, and we're going to give you a seat on the council, but not give you the rank of master. Like, I know that sounds so, like, everyone jokes about it so much, and
Yeah.
it kind of, like, turns into a little bit of a meme.
Yeah.
But, like, dude, that is condescending at its
Mm.
finest. Oh,
Yeah.
no, you're good enough to have your ass sit in this seat and tell us all of your issues and everything that you know,
Yeah.
but you are not good enough to have the title like all of us because we
Yeah.
are better than you. In every single way possible, we are better than you. And
Yeah.
you can only earn our trust if you really, really, really try. It's like, fuck, bro. I hate him. I
Yeah.
hate him with a passion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in general, the fear. I mean, like there's one scene that I kind of wanted to talk about as well, just really
Yeah. Go
quickly
for it,
about
dude.
like Yoda when Anakin was talking to Yoda in that dark room.
On episode 3. Yep.
Yeah. And you just see Yoda basically saying, everything you're feeling right now is wrong. You are
Mm.
not meant to feel this way.
Yeah.
Everything that you are doing needs to change, or
Mhm.
otherwise you will fall to the dark side
Yeah.
and you will be my enemy.
Yeah.
What?
Crazy,
What?
huh?
And yet they blame him for turning to the dark side.
Yeah.
I mean, like, there has to be some onus on the Jedi
Yeah.
to see their own failures, to look at what they've done and say, yeah, actually, maybe we did screw up a little bit here. But
Yeah.
even in the original trilogy, talking about Vader and how he killed Anakin Skywalker and
Mm,
fell to the dark. What? You
yeah.
killed him. You killed Anakin.
Yeah.
Any little sprout of hope, any sprout of good and bad.
Yeah.
I mean, like, everything was just cut, thinking it was bad.
Hmm.
I mean, like, no matter what it was, they would just cut off his legs every single time. And why would he even want to walk alongside these guys?
And they
I mean, I
literally
know,
did, but yeah.
yeah, but the thing is, right? Like, literally, but like when you look at Ahsoka,
Yeah.
I think that was a really cool kind of like a retroactive add to the story
Yeah.
of Ahsoka leaving the Jedi Order and seeing how much Anakin really distrusted them for it.
Dude, I'm about to get into that.
Okay, I have to admit, I think Filoni puts a little bit too much love onto Ahsoka. I mean, she's got
Shut up,
probably
Star
the
Wars
best.
nerd.
She's got probably the she's probably got the
Is he
best
still here?
plot armor. I don't know. She's probably got the best plot armor over anyone ever in Star Wars. I mean, like, it's actually kind of ridiculous at
Yeah.
this point. But at the time, it was poignant, like, to see that, a tiny little lie, you couldn't turn back from it.
Yeah.
You wanted to just completely throw her to the lions. Why?
Yeah.
Why would you kill? Why would you kill her over a mistake? Something that you could talk about
Yeah.
that clearly wasn't her. But it was like, it was the Padawan of the chosen one, the one that they
Mm,
hated anyway. Like,
yeah.
she had all of that against her. Oh, actually, I really want to hear what you think before I give anything away.
On
I want to
the
hear what you
whole,
think,
on the
because you
whole
said you
Ahsoka
wanted to
thing.
talk about that.
On the whole
Yeah,
Ahsoka, well, okay, I'm literally just gonna go straight from this book because it literally gives me the
go
answer
for
right
it.
here.
Go
So
for it.
Anakin's training of Ahsoka was essentially a test devised by the Jedi to discover if he was truly capable of following their path by calming his turbulent mind and helping an apprentice achieve balance in the Force. When Anakin exhibited what the Jedi thought of as overprotective behavior towards his Padawan, and Ahsoka subsequently rejected the Jedi, it appeared this was a test that Anakin had resoundingly failed. Without Ahsoka, but then this is where it sort of goes from that into something even worse because that it like has a domino effect. Without Ahsoka to act as a counterbalance to his passions and fears, his attentions, even more than they had before, focused on Padme. He was sure that she, at least, would never forsake him. Of course, the Jedi had no idea that Anakin was secretly married to Padme. Had they known, they would have been outraged at his flagrant disregard for Jedi teachings on attachments and the pitfalls of wanting to possess another person.
Bunch of virgins, by the way. That's what Jedi are. But like,
They're still testing him, dude. He's not an apprentice anymore. They're still testing him.
oh, dude,
They're just not flexible. That's what I mean. They're so rigid within their code. They're testing him to see if he fits their ways rather than, he's the chosen one. Let's try and accommodate him just a fucking little bit.
I
Just a
think that's their
little bit.
greatest fear. Their greatest fear is to change their ways. Like, their greatest fear is to be different, to accept that they are not right all the time.
Yeah.
Their greatest fear is that they have been wrong in what they've done. So
Yeah.
they will force people to live their way
Yeah.
as long as they can. Oh, kitty cat,
Kitty cat here, my apprentice.
my
Well,
apprentice.
I wanted to so basically his relationship with the Jedi was like, it's no lie, it was affected by his relationship with Palpatine too, and that
Yes.
changed how they viewed him. But they essentially enabled that relationship by ignoring his emotions and this underlying want for family. Palpatine knew it because he would call him, how he calls him son and that quite often. He'd call him son and it triggered something in Anakin, this want to be there for Palpatine even more.
Yeah.
Palpatine praised him in ways he craved, like stroking his ego. He, how often do you hear him say, "You're the most gifted Jedi I've ever met"? To Anakin,
Yeah.
Palpatine's praise, the pointed questions, the insightful observation, it just forged this really strong connection that he just never really felt with Jedi.
Dude, I think that, I mean, that's the nail on the head, right? That's the nail
Palpatine
on the
gave
head.
him what the Jedi could have given him at all, just nurtured that, but they just
Dude,
shut off.
Obi-Wan tried.
Yeah,
Obi-Wan tried. I think a lot of people are angry at Obi-Wan for
he
a lot
was
of
put
that
in
stuff.
such a difficult spot. Like Obi-Wan
Bro,
saw himself as a failure and like felt sorry that Anakin got stuck with him.
this is the reason why he couldn't kill him. Because
Yeah,
he felt so bad. He
yeah,
was like, I mean, every single time Obi-Wan tries to do something that is good,
yeah,
something that kind of is like more Qui-Gon-esque,
yeah,
the Jedi just go, no, you can't do this. And he's such a hyper loyalist
yeah,
that he can't do anything. He can't change. Oh, it hurts me. It hurts me because those two should have been brothers the whole way through. Because
yeah,
it wasn't really a master and apprentice, it was brothers.
yeah.
You know,
Oh, 100%.
I think that was one of their greatest strengths. And
100%.
like to see, oh dude, to see their last moment together. Oh, I love you, Anakin. Oh, dude, it hurts me so much. I remember when I was showing Tia the Revenge of the Sith,
Yeah,
she was like, "Oh, that's beautiful," and I'm thinking, like, it really made me think, just going, "Oh my god, that really is like a very beautiful moment that
yeah,
they're never ever going to have again.
mm,
They're never ever. No, well, the two of them won't ever
yeah,
have again.
yeah, yeah,
He'll have a beautiful moment later with Luke, but like, they're never going to have that moment again. How do you know when it's the last time you're going to see someone? That's something that I've been thinking about a lot, man. I mean, like, dude, there have been so many times where I mean, I work in weddings, right?
yeah,
And I'm like, how many times people walk in and I'm like, I'm never ever going to see your face ever again. That's just
yeah,
wild.
yeah, yeah,
Like, when's the last time you ever see a person? When's the
yeah.
last time you ever see a friend? You know, you did put your finger up. I want to see what you're.
Dude, let me. Where is it? It just reminded me of a bit in this book. So it's literally talking about their last interaction as Obi-Wan's leaving to go to Utapau.
Yeah.
Oh, where are we? Talking about Anakin reporting Palpatine's suspicions. Obi-Wan made his last contact with Anakin's former Padawan before he left Utapau, just urging Ahsoka to speak to Anakin. Obi-Wan also talked to Padme because he knew something's going on with Anakin, but he doesn't know exactly what. And yeah, it literally just says Obi-Wan found it hard to shake a sense of finality in his parting with Anakin that day. Clouded though the Force had been for some time, it was as if he sensed this would be the last time he would look into his former Padawan's eyes, the last chance to say things he had left unsaid during their years together. Obi-Wan was a compassionate and kind soul, but not much given to praising Anakin. Aware that the young man was arrogant enough already, his calm, detached manner did not translate into a warm, nurturing presence. He had not been the mentor and the father figure Anakin had needed. During their time as master and apprentice, and certainly during the war, quiet moments between them had been rare. They parted solemnly, brothers in the Force.
That's fucking upsetting, man. I think that's like the perfect ribbon on all of
Yeah,
this, right?
yeah,
Is like it could have been all right, and it could have been fixed. I mean, yeah, I don't know if you have any more to say,
dude. I
but
was
I
gonna
mean,
say, I
like,
just want, yeah, I've got like about a page and a half here that is like probably my favorite. It's such an underrated bit of the Clone Wars. I think it's I've mentioned it so many times, but it's the Racco Hardeen. It's Obi-Wan faking his death. I love it,
yeah,
and this book dives into it. So I'm just gonna read a page and a half
dude,
because
go for it, go for
I'm just gonna go. His faith in the Jedi and
it.
dude, all that took me to was someone just sitting down, like you're in a book club, and then you've just got some dude like on LSD in the corner, like just having the maddest. You just sit there, hoodie on, shades on, just.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Go on. Go on. Go on.
His faith in the Jedi and their ideals was undeniably damaged when his own master, Obi-Wan, was gunned down by a sniper on Coruscant before his eyes. Anakin was stunned, unable to comprehend how his friend and mentor, who had survived so many battles, could be murdered so suddenly and senselessly. He swiftly located the perpetrator, a bounty hunter named Racco Hardeen, and honored what he knew would have been his master's wishes, sending the assassin to a Republic prison rather than following his own instincts to kill him in revenge. Eventually, forced to expose their deception or risk the death of one of their own, the Jedi revealed to Anakin that the man he'd apprehended and nearly murdered was in fact Obi-Wan. Working deep undercover to untangle a separatist plot to kidnap Chancellor Palpatine, Obi-Wan had undergone various medical procedures and swallowed a vocal emulator to take on the appearance of his supposed assassin. The Jedi Council did not foresee the effects Obi-Wan's ruse would have on Anakin's conflicted psyche, or anticipated the lengths Anakin would go to avenge his fallen master. When Hardeen subsequently escaped from prison, Anakin was beside himself. He turned for guidance to his friend Palpatine, who seized the opportunity to further alienate Anakin from the Jedi by sending him to hunt down Racco. He gave the floundering young Jedi permission to use violence, while also imbuing him with the self-confidence and support that was sorely lacking from his supposed Jedi comrades. Blind to Anakin's thoughts and feelings on the matter, the Jedi Council stuck to their cunning plan and removed the bounty on Hardeen's head. This only added to Anakin's confusion and rage. He could not understand why the Jedi would not want Obi-Wan's killer caught and punished. How could the very symbol of peace and justice in the galaxy allow one of their own to be muted with apparent impunity? The effects of these questions lingered long after the nature of Obi-Wan's secret mission had finally been revealed to Anakin. Thus, his initial angry confusion festered into dismay that the Jedi, even Obi-Wan himself, had failed to put their trust in him. For much of the war, Anakin had believed that the Jedi were unwilling to go far enough to actually win. After this perceived betrayal, he had to face the fact that the Jedi were prepared to use underhanded tactics. Anakin realized that the ethics of the Jedi had been compromised by the war. It was no longer the same Jedi Order he had romanticized as a child. He grappled with the conflicting ideas that he could be the chosen one of Jedi lore, a storied Jedi general at the forefront of so many Republic victories, yet still be denied the Jedi's full confidence. By contrast, Palpatine was showing more trust in Anakin than ever, treating him as a partner in their avowed pursuit of a fairer and more just galaxy. Their relationship blossomed. Instead of Palpatine acting as mentor and protector, Anakin was honored to act as Palpatine's bodyguard, the roles somewhat reversed. His pride swelled in the knowledge that the Supreme Chancellor only needed him to feel secure. Where the Jedi failed to appreciate and utilize Anakin's astonishing abilities, Palpatine, his advanced age and frail physique making him vulnerable in Anakin's eyes, showed how much he needed Skywalker by his side. I love that book, dude.
Take back what I said, bro. That's the fucking ribbon right there. That's... Wow. Wow.
All their shortcomings just opened up little bits. Where they fell short, Palpatine soared in Anakin's eyes.
When you leave a gap, it will be filled. And you just want to make sure it's not filled by your enemy. But they just didn't think about it. Right? What an episode, man. This has been amazing. Dude, this has been incredible.
I loved that. That was good. Wow. Got my tism out of my system. It was good.
Wow. Dude, thank you for doing so much research. That was amazing.
Dude, that was fun. I was up till like 2 a.m. last night. I was like watching interviews. I was reading things. I was going back through my own videos. I was like, this is good. This is fun.
Oh, that's sick, man. No, I appreciate it. I appreciate you putting that much work in.
That's good shit. No, but I like your opinions as well, because like I obviously come from like sort of the lore background, but then you come from that philosophical, that opinionated background, and we mesh.
Dude, that was a good mesh. That was a good mesh.
That was a great mesh.
Man, whoever's been watching this has been #blessed.
Yeah.
Double thumbs up. Dude, it's coming from behind my chair. That's how cool this is. Look at this.
That's
I'll do it again. That's insane. Look, see, it recognized. Oh, no, now it doesn't. Oh, see, now it does.
Yeah. It knows there's something there, yeah. It like starts for a minute, but then it knows and it spreads.
Dude, man. Gentlemen, I'd like to sit and chat with you both soon. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
absolutely.
Of course you can. You're always welcome.
That would
You're
be
Mando Mating's best friend.
Mando Mating with Brian.
Dude.
That'd be sick.
Absolutely.
Yeah, always welcome, man.
100%.
Dude, that'd be... You know what we should do as well? Like, not just an episode with Brian, but we should also, like, anyone who's on here will just be like, fuck it, have the link. We'll be like, join us.
We'll just leave. They can host.
We'll have one whole episode where we just have like every single person
in chat just jumping in. Yeah. That'd be fun. We should do that. That'd be fun.
That would be so funny.
That'd be hell fun.
That would be so funny. Oh man. Dude, well, I think that's a beautiful way to end an episode. Man,
That was
like
good. That was very
I
good.
love it. I love it.
Now we
I
have to think of another. How are we going to top that?
take my sticky note of all the
Yeah, but you're good. You can just come up through it. It's like anytime I do a video on that, I need a script. Otherwise my video will be like me cutting every 2 seconds. Come like, yeah, and then he killed the Sith Lord, and um and then he got rid of the lightsaber, and then a battle droid showed up, and I need a script, dude.
Yeah,
I
but
need a
bro, you
script.
read so much better off a script. I don't read well off a script because I'm like, because I got so many things going on in my brain at the same time. I'll be like, I'll
Yeah,
change
yeah.
this, I'll change this. Yeah, Brian, we should absolutely
We'll
have an
do it one
optimized
night. We should do that.
100%. Yeah, I mean, like, I just need topics, everyone.
Oh, so good, dude.
Families of
So
the Jedi.
they've got me. I've got my notes up from like from books I've read. And then I wrote like just a bit for this. It's like 1,000-word essay, and then I was reading bits from that book too. I was like, I need shit to read off. Like I know what
Dude,
I'm
that's
saying, but I need
insane,
shit to
though.
read.
See, I was just going through videos on YouTube of like
Yeah,
what George Lucas says at
yeah,
panels and like
yeah.
seeing because I wanted to have kind of like the source. I also wanted to see what John Favreau was saying because I really
Mm,
appreciate Favreau
yeah.
and like
Favreau's the
hearing.
goat.
Oh, he's the goat, man. So I just kind of
Mm.
like I wanted to kind of like curate my own opinion because I knew you were just going to come in like a law goblin, like an actual law goblin. Dude, that was so funny. That was so funny. But man, dude,
Good shit,
next
dude. That was
week,
fun. How are we gonna top that? What are we gonna do?
I don't even know. I don't even know. If anyone who's on right now, and if you want to say a topic for next week, chuck it in.
We'll give you a shout out.
Um, we'll give you we'll give you a shout out. We'll give you a
5 Australian
minute.
potatoes.
Oh, 5 Australian potatoes, bro. No way. I can't. This is the potato famine. The potato famine. The potato famine. I worked in an Irish wedding before. The Irish are so much fun.
Yeah, they are, dude.
They are so much fun. And there was this one time where, like, because we didn't have Guinness on tap, because the bride and groom didn't want Guinness on tap.
Oh,
And we
what?
didn't have, yeah, dude, it's so weird. I mean,
The
they knew
Irish?
everyone would be at the bar for like so long and they
Yeah.
wanted everyone to do stuff. Because
Oh, yeah, okay.
it takes a good minute to pour. And when you
Yeah.
think about that, like, it's usually what, 10 seconds to pour a beer. So it's like,
Mm,
it takes up a lot more time.
yeah.
And it was so funny. This lady came up and she was ordering a drink, and a
Mm,
guy ran up behind her. They didn't know each other,
yeah.
and he's like, "Do you have any Guinness?" And she was like, "I was like, oh no, sorry. You got Jameson's, which is Irish whiskey."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh no, we don't. They already drank it." And then he's like, "Do you have baby Guinness?" Which is like, Kahlua and Bailey's, and it like when you layer it, it looks like a
Oh,
little baby Guinness.
okay.
And I was like, no, again, they've already finished all of them. And she just looks at him and she's like, "What? Are you fresh off the fucking boat?" Oh, bro, I fucking lost it. It was so good. It was so good. But it's so true, man. The Irish, they
Yeah.
want to party like crazy, but they
Dude.
only want to drink Irish stuff.
Yeah.
Only want Irish
I was
stuff.
gonna say when I was in New York, we did a couple nights at an Irish bar just off Times Square there. I met some Irish dude there from Adelaide.
Sick.
And he's like, dude, I have a half brother in Adelaide. Like, are you my brother? We're like, yeah, sure. And so,
What?
yeah, he's buying us fucking Jameson shots and that. Disgusting. But,
Yeah. Yeah.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But they
It's
are
not
fun.
good.
They are fun.
Well, the minute's up. The minute's up. So no one's gonna have their own personal curated
That's
episode.
fine,
All
dude.
right.
No shout out for you.
No shout out. No shout out, bro.
That's fine.
No
Be
shout
like
out for
that.
you
That's
guys.
fine, dude.
It's
Seriously.
okay. You don't have to have it. You don't have to have it.
We'll remember it, though. We'll
Yeah,
fucking
we'll
remember it.
remember. We'll remember every
That's
single
been
one of you. I
noted.
can't see any names, but I'll remember every single one of you.
That's been noted. That's been noted.
But I've written it down right here. Death Note. Death Note. Oh wait, I've got a pen.
Need that scene from The Office where, like, BJ Novak, Ryan's just like... He going on his list, and he will be checking it twice.
Yeah, I come down everyone's chimney.
Oh.
No one wants big Star Wars. No one wants it. No one wants big Star Wars.
Oh.
Anyways, guys, thank you to every single person
Thank you so
that has
much,
come
guys.
here. Thank you to you, Jesse.
Thank you to you,
Thank you for being the
Jeremy.
goat. Thank you for being the goat. You're the
Double
goat.
J. Thank you.
The JJ. We could sniff some JJ.
Ooh.
Do you know what JJ is?
Fucking, what is it like? It's like
Jungle
leather polish.
juice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What was that
yeah.
fucking yeah, one of my mates have it.
Sniff
Like, I
it,
remember they
and then
spilled it
you.
on the floor once, so I was like, "What is that? What is that?"
It's the worst smell.
Ugh.
Yeah, it makes your butthole loose.
Ooh.
Mando mating episode.
Wait, was that episode 6 or episode 7? I'm losing count. What was that one? What is this one? That was 6. Alright, we're starting the sequels now. They're just gonna go to shit anyway, so that's fine.
That worked so well. That worked so well. Dude, do you want to do maybe like a sequels episode? Everything
Sure.
right about the sequels.
Oh, sure. I'll just set up a fucking. I'll just go to Bunnings and get a rope for there as well while I'm at it.
Yeah, you need like a 7-foot rope, you fucking giant. Anyways, guys, love you all. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you
so
so
much
much.
for
That was good
joining.
fun. That was good fun.
We'll catch you next week, same time, same
Place.
channel. You
Cool.
can join from any one of our channels.
Yeah.
Try to join from Jesse's one because he's so handsome. And then and then like you can get
Just go back and
your
forth. Actually, just have 2 tabs
uncle's
open.
cat. Yeah, dude, imagine. But like if they got on you and then the uncle's
Got
cat's
on me.
dogs aren't. Oh, dude, can I?
Are you hearing this, Taylor?
Oh, kitty cat, no. This is kitty cat. Yeah. Anyways, let's fucking end this bad boy.
Let's love and leave you guys.
Yeah, love you all again. Rock on.
Much love. Thank you very much.
Rock on.
We'll see you next
Peace
week.
out, peoples. Enjoy being